Hi dear students, welcome to Sri Jendra Rank Zone classes and I am your science facilitator Amit Ajmani. Students, this is the first lecture of the chapter Work, Energy and Power. This chapter is divided into three parts as we can see just by the name itself: work, energy and power, and we will be taking up all these topics one by one. So in this lecture number 1, we'll be discussing about the first part of this chapter, that is work. Now what exactly is meant by work done? When we talk about work done, we say that work is said to be done when a force acts on a body and makes the body to move through some distance in its own direction. For example, if this is an object and if some force is applied on this object, this is the initial position of the body and the force is applied in this particular direction, because of which there is some motion produced in this body, and this is the final position of the body. So the body has moved through this much distance. So now we will say that some work has been done, right? Now, when we calculate work in moving a body, then it is equal to the product of force exerted on the body and the distance moved by the body in the direction of force. So we can relate work done is equal to force multiplied by the distance moved. So we can represent the formula for work as W is equal to F into S, where of course W is the work done, F is the force acting on the body, and S is the distance through which the body is moving. We know that the SI unit, the standard international unit of force, is Newton, expressed as capital N, and the standard international unit of distance is meters, represented as small m. So the SI unit of work done becomes Newton into meter, and in the SI form this is called joule, which is represented by capital J. So the SI unit, the standard international unit of work done, is joule. Now if we have to define 1 joule of work done, then in that case we can relate it from its formula itself only, that if 1 Newton of force is acting on a body and making the body to move through a distance of 1 meter, then we say that 1 joule of work is done. Let us see it in a proper way. When a force of 1 Newton moves a body through a distance of 1 meter in its own direction, then the work done is known as 1 joule. So 1 joule is equal to 1 Newton into 1 meter. Now this work done is a scalar quantity, means that it has only magnitude, it does not have any kind of direction associated with it. Okay. Now this work done, we have said the formula to be work done is equal to F into S, that is force into distance moved. That work done that we have just talked is called the linear work done, or the work done in a straight line. But if we are pulling up something, then in that case this work done, which is done in pulling an object against gravity, that is to be calculated in a different way. Why? Because in that case the work done in lifting a body is the product of the weight of the body which is being lifted and the vertical distance to which that body is lifted. We know that the weight or the force of the body is m into a. So just converting this weight and representing it in the form of m into g, the vertical distance is the height. So now the work done against gravity becomes m into g into h, where m is the mass of the body. We need to know the SI unit, that is kilogram. G is the acceleration due to gravity, and we know that the value of acceleration due to gravity is always equal to 9.8 meter per second square, and h is the height through which the body is lifted, and the height is measured in meters. So this is the second type of work done. First was that we studied earlier, that is the linear work done, which is given by the formula work done is equal to F into S. This is the first type of work done, that is linear work done. Second, we talked about work done against gravity, whose formula is M into G into H. Okay. Now, there is one more type of work done, which is called work done by a force acting obliquely. Now, what exactly is meant by acting obliquely? Till now, if we are talking about linear work done, then in that case, the force acts on a body. This is the force acting on the body and making the body to move by some distance in its own direction. So the body is moving in the direction of force. In case of work done against gravity, we are applying force in the upward direction against gravity and the body will be pulled up upwards. But there are certain times when the body is not actually moving in the direction of force. Just taking the example through this picture, you'll be able to relate that this is a boy who is pulling a toy car with the help of this particular string or a thread. If you try to relate, then the boy is applying force. This is the direction of force in which the boy is applying his force. But the car will move in this direction along the surface. So there is an angle which is called theta, which is there between the direction of force and the direction of motion of the object. Such kind of force is called force acting obliquely. Now, if the force is acting obliquely, that means there is some angle between the direction of motion and direction of force. Then in that case, now we calculate the work done with a different formula, that is W is equal to F into cos theta into S. Initially, we have said that work done, linear work done, is equal to F into S. But now, because this is work done by a force acting obliquely, there is an angle theta related to it. So we multiply this thing simply by cos theta. So F is the force applied. The SI unit of force we already know is Newton. Theta is the angle between the direction of force and direction of motion. And S is the distance moved. Right? So these are the three types of work done. First work done, we studied about linear work done in a straight line. Second is work done against gravity. And third is work done by a force acting obliquely, making an angle between the direction of force and the direction of motion. Correct? Now relating to the formulas, we conclude that the work done by any force on a body depends on a few factors. What are those factors? The first factor is the magnitude of the force. How much force is acting, that decides how much work is done. Second factor is the distance through which the body moves in the direction of force. If we want to make the body to move through a more distance, more force will be required or more work done is required. And the third thing that we just saw in the case of work done by a force acting obliquely is the angle between the direction of force and displacement. Clear? So these are the three factors on which the work done by a force depends. Okay. Now we'll be given different values of theta. You must know the various values. You must learn this. Cos, if the angle is given to be 0 degree, then cos 0 degree is equal to 1. If the angle of theta is 30 degree, then if we calculate cos 30 degree, the value is root 3 by 2. For cos 45 degree, the value is 1 by root 2. For cos 60 degree, the value is 1 by 2, and cos 90 degree, the value is 0. If you already know these values, perfectly fine. If you don't know, please take out your registers and you may note this part, that cos 0 degree is 1. Cos 30 degree, the value is root 3 by 2. Cos 45 degree is 1 by root 2. Cos 60 degree is 1 by 2, that is half, 0.5. And cos 90 degree is 0. Clear to all? So these are the values of cos thetas. Now we will talk about the nature of work done. There are mainly three types of work done. One is called the positive work done, second is called the negative work done, and third is called zero work done. Now what are these? Let us try to relate. First of all, discussing about positive work done. We have just mentioned that work is said to be done when a force produces motion in the body. Correct? Now, if the motion which is produced in the body, if the distance moved by the body is in the same direction in which force is acting, then in that case we say that positive work is done. I repeat, when the motion of the body is in the direction of force itself only, then we say that the work done is positive. For example, if a body is falling freely under gravity, then in that case it is going in the same direction in which the gravitational force is acting, that is downwards, so the work done is positive. Similarly, when a lawn roller is pulled by applying a force along the handle at any particular angle, the work done by the force will be positive. If we kick a football, the football is going to go in the same direction in which the force will be applied by us on it. So they are all the examples of positive work done. Now, if we are talking about positive work done, then the angle theta lies between 0 degree and 90 degrees. It is greater or equal to 0 degrees and it is less than or equal to 90 degrees. Then we say that the work done is positive. Why? Because this means that force is parallel to displacement. Correct? So this is our positive work done. Talking about second type of work done, that is negative work done. What exactly is meant by negative work done? When the direction of motion or displacement is opposite to that of the direction in which force is applied. In that case, we say that the work done is negative. And for negative work done, the value of the angle theta lies between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. It is greater than 90 degrees and it is less than 180 degrees. Okay, let us take a few examples. For example, negative work is done when we compress a spring. When we compress a spring, we apply force in the downward direction, but the moment we take our finger away, the spring jumps upwards. The displacement is in the upward direction. Similarly, when a person lifts a body from the ground, then the work done by the force of gravity is negative. Correct? Because gravity always pulls everything towards its own downward direction, but now here the object is lifted upwards. Another example, if a positive charge moves towards another positive charge, then the work done by the electrostatic force between them is negative, because these are two positive charges, they will repel each other, so the force is acting in the opposite direction. Another example is, if a body is made to slide over a rough surface, then the work done by the frictional force is negative, because we know that frictional force always opposes the motion of the body. So these are all examples of negative work done. We need to remember the range of the theta angle in case of positive as well as negative work done. Got it? Now, the third type of work done is zero work done. When is the work done set to be zero? There are certain conditions when the work done is zero. What are those conditions? Let us see. If there is no displacement, we have seen that the work done is equal to F into S. Now, if there is no displacement, the displacement is zero. That means anything multiplied by zero will be zero. So in this case, no matter how much force we are exerting on a fixed object, if there is no motion produced, if there is no displacement in the body, even though we have applied so much of our force, but technically we have not done any kind of work. For example, if I am trying to pull a train or to push a train with my own hands, do you really think that the train is going to even move a bit inch of centimeter of it? No. So if I apply my force on a train trying to push it with my bare hands, and I'm perspiring, I'm sweating for the past 3 hours I've been doing it, but after 3 hours still my work done will be zero because there is no displacement in the train. Second thing is, if there is no force acting on the body, obviously the same thing applies. If the force is zero, anything multiplied by zero will be zero. So if we are not applying any kind of force on any body, we cannot expect the body to move. Correct? This we have already studied in the case of inertia. What did the law of inertia state? It stated that the body at rest will remain at rest unless until some external force is applied to it. So we need some external force in order to produce motion in the body. Now the third condition is very important. If the force is perpendicular to the displacement of the body, if the force is perpendicular, the force is perpendicular to the displacement of the body, then also the work done is zero. Now we need to relate it in a bit of detail how exactly it happens. So let me explain it to you. Now if a force is acting at right angles to the direction of motion of a body, then the angle theta between the direction of motion and direction of force becomes 90 degree. The formula is work done is equal to F into cos theta into distance. Cos, the value is 90 degree, and cos 90 degree is equivalent to 0. So if cos 90 is 0, then in that case, no matter how much force is applied and no matter how much distance is going to be moved, the work done will be, of course, 0. Correct? Now, there are many examples of zero work done which we need to remember properly. First, if a coolie is traveling on a horizontal platform with a load on his head, the work done against gravity by the coolie is zero. Why it is zero? Because the force is acting at right angles to the direction of motion. The coolie is walking horizontally in this direction and the force of gravity is acting downwards. So the angle between them is 90 degrees, and applying the same fundamental of cos 90 degrees, then the work done by the coolie will be zero. Similarly, if there is a weightlifter who is lifting the weight of the ground, right? He is lifting the weight of the ground, but when he is holding the weight, then he is not doing any work. The work will be done if he is lifting. Why? Because now it will be negative work done. The force of gravity will be in the downward direction. We are lifting the object in the upward direction. It is negative work done. But if we hold that weight, in that case now there will be no work done. Similarly, rather than this particular weight, if a person is carrying a briefcase or a suitcase in his hands, maybe if for 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour he is going to carry it, he is going to get tired. According to him, he has done so much of work in holding that briefcase in the hand, but technically, once again, as per physics, as per our concepts, no work is done, right? Quite importantly, the motion of an isolated body in free space, that is also zero work done. Why? Because it is an isolated body in free space, no force is acting on it. That is why this is zero work done. Now, if the displacement is zero, as I told you, we are trying to push a train, or if we are applying the force on a wall or a very, very heavy stone, the force is being applied, but they are not going to move. Simple. So, if there is no displacement, there will be no work done. The most important thing that we need to remember, which comes in the questions many a times, is whenever a body is moving along a circular path, if a body is moving along in a circle, we know that whenever a body is moving in a circular path, then there is a centripetal force which is exerted from the center, and this centripetal force is always perpendicular to the direction of motion. Wherever we take the direction of motion, any place, this force will act from the center and it is perpendicular to it. So in that case, the work done by the centripetal force is always zero. Now this is the main reason why we say that all the planets which are revolving around the sun, they are not doing any work. The work done is zero. Why? Because these all the planets are moving around the sun in circular orbits, and the force is applied by the force of gravity of the sun, which is acting in the perpendicular direction, and because of that 90-degree angle, the work done will be zero. Same is the case with all the satellites which are revolving around the planets, whether it is the natural satellites which are revolving around the planets or the artificial satellites, the man-made satellites that we have sent and they are revolving around the earth, they are all doing zero work done, because all of them are actually in a circular motion, because of which there will be no work done whatsoever. So this is quite important for you people to understand and to relate the examples, whether it is of positive work done or negative work done or zero work done. So this is all about our first topic of the chapter, that is work. What all exactly we did in this chapter? We talked about the definition of work. We talked about the three types of work done. They are the positive work done, the negative work done, and zero work done. Again, we talked about another three types of work done, that is the work done linear, the work done against gravity, and the work done obliquely. And we just related all the formulas. Quite importantly, we just related that the work done depends upon three factors. What are those three factors? The work done depends upon the force. The work done depends upon the distance moved, and the work done depends upon the angle between the direction of force and the direction of motion. Clear? We also need to relate the range of angles when we are talking about positive and negative work done. You need to keep in mind that in case of positive work done, the angle theta ranges between 0 and 90 degree, but in the case of negative work done, the angle ranges between 90 degree to 180 degrees. And once again, the examples are all equally important. Okay, so this is all about work. I hope that you all must have understood what exactly is work and all the other details related to it. Fine, so we'll be ending our topic here only. Go through it, try to learn, try to relate, try to retain. Okay, and in the next lecture we'll be discussing about the second part of this chapter, that is energy, and the remaining part, power. So till then, have a good time, take care of yourself, and thank you for being with me. Good day everyone.